She said, "Why do you always have to know where I am?" When I asked about her evening plans, I said, "You're right, that's controlling." Then I stopped asking and stopped sharing my location. She panicked when she realized I'd been in Miami all weekend. I, 34, male, had a simple question for my fiancée Melissa 4 weeks ago. We'd been together for 2.5 years, engaged for 8 months, wedding planned for 6 months from now. "What are you up to tonight?" I asked while making breakfast. She exploded. "Why do you always need to know where I am? It's suffocating. I can't breathe in this relationship." I was confused. I ask maybe once or twice a week, usually to plan dinner or know if I should wait up. "I'm just trying to coordinate our evening." "No, you're being controlling. My therapist says this is toxic behavior. You tracking my every move is abusive." "Melissa, we share our locations with each other. It's mutual and I don't track." God, there you go again, making excuses. I need space to be my own person. I set down my coffee, looked at her for a long moment. She'd been weird lately, protective of her phone, vague about her evenings, lots of work emergencies that required her to leave suddenly. "You know what? You're absolutely right," I said calmly. "I've been controlling. I'm sorry." She blinked, surprised. You are?" "Yeah. From now on, I won't ask where you're going or what you're doing. Your business is your business." "Oh, well, good. And to make it fair, I'll stop sharing my location too. No need for either of us to know where the other is." Her face changed slightly. "That's not necessary." "No, it's only fair. You need space. I'll give you space." I turned off location sharing right there at the breakfast table. She watched me do it, looking uncomfortable. "I mean, you don't have to. It's done. We're both free now." The next 2 weeks were interesting. She'd randomly ask what I was doing that evening. I'd just say, "I have plans," and leave it at that. She'd probe for details, I'd smile and change the subject. "Where were you last night?" she asked one morning. Out. "Out where?" "Why do you need to know? That's controlling, remember?" She'd get frustrated but couldn't argue without looking like a hypocrite. During this time, I noticed patterns. Her phone buzzing constantly with texts she'd quickly hide. Late-night work calls that made her giggle. New clothes I hadn't seen before. She claimed stress from wedding planning, but wouldn't discuss any actual planning when I offered to help. "I've got it handled," she'd say, then spend hours texting someone about coordination. 2 weeks after our breakfast conversation, things escalated. Friday morning, she mentioned she had a girls' spa retreat planned, leaving that evening, back Sunday night. "Have fun," I said, not looking up from my laptop where I was reviewing client portfolios. "You're not going to ask where?" "Nope, your business." She lingered, clearly expecting more questions. When none came, she seemed both relieved and annoyed. She left around 5 p.m. with a bag that looked suspiciously light for a spa weekend. I waited exactly 1 hour, then grabbed my already packed bag and headed to the airport. See, my buddy Kevin was having his bachelor party in Miami. I had originally declined because Melissa always freaked out about these trips, claimed they were just excuses to cheat. But since we were giving each other space now, I called Kevin back. "Dude, you're coming? What changed?" "Melissa and I are practicing healthy boundaries now. She doesn't need to know where I am, and I don't need to know where she is." "That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen." "We'll see." The weekend was exactly what I needed. Kevin had planned it perfectly. Deep sea fishing Saturday morning, amazing waterfront restaurants, cigar lounge that evening. Sunday we hit the beach, played volleyball, grilled fresh fish Kevin had caught. Nothing wild, nothing inappropriate. Just guys being guys, celebrating Kevin's last weekend of bachelor freedom. I posted nothing on social media. I rarely do anyway. Just lived in the moment, enjoyed good conversation about life, careers, relationships. Kevin was nervous about marriage, asking questions about maintaining independence while building partnership. "The key," I told him while we watched the sunset, "is honest communication and mutual respect. Both people need to feel free to be themselves while choosing to build something together. Sounds like you and Melissa have it figured out." I thought about that. Did we? Or were we just avoiding the real issues? Sunday afternoon, I'm at Miami International, waiting for my flight home when my phone explodes. 15 missed calls, over 60 texts, all from Melissa. "Where are you?" "This isn't funny anymore. I'm at the apartment and you're not here. Your location is off. Answer your phone. I'm worried something happened." "Answer me." If you don't respond in 10 minutes, I'm calling police. I texted back, I'm fine, out with friends, flying home tonight. Phone immediately rings. I let it go to voicemail. She calls again, then again. Finally, I answer. Where the hell are you? She screams into the phone. Why do you need to know? That's controlling. This is different. You've been gone all weekend. I was worried. So have you. I didn't worry because I trust you. I told you I was going to a spa retreat. And I'm telling you I'm with friends. What's the difference? The difference is, she paused, realizing the trap. Just tell me where you are. I'm coming home. That should be enough. If you don't tell me where you are right now, we're done. Okay. Silence. Okay, that's it? Yeah. If you need to control where I am after demanding I stop asking about yours, we're not compatible. I thought you wanted space. She hung up, then called back immediately. I declined the call. She called 5 more times during my layover in Atlanta. I turned my phone to silent and read my book. Got home around 10 p.m. She was on the couch, furious and crying, laptop open beside her. Miami, she said, holding up her phone. Kevin's girlfriend posted a story. You were in Miami? Yep. You went to Miami without telling me. You went somewhere without telling me, too. I was at a spa retreat with my sister Jamie. Cool. I was at a bachelor party with friends. That's completely different. How? Because Miami is... You could have been doing anything. Like what? Strip clubs, gambling, cheating. Did you cheat at your spa retreat? What? No. Then why would you assume I did? Because it's Miami. Everyone knows what happens in Miami. So you trust me conditionally based on geography? She couldn't answer that. Her mouth opened and closed like she wanted to speak, but no words came. That's when I knew we had a fundamental problem that went far beyond location sharing. Here's the thing. I didn't do anything wild in Miami. Went deep sea fishing, enjoyed some cigars at a nice lounge, ate too much at waterfront restaurants, played volleyball on the beach. The most scandalous thing was Kevin getting seasick on the boat and throwing up over the side while a family of dolphins watched. But Melissa's reaction told me everything about how she views trust in our relationship. It's been 5 days since the Miami revelation, and things have escalated in ways I didn't expect. Monday morning, Melissa tried a new approach, full fiancée mode, made my favorite breakfast, blueberry pancakes with real maple syrup, super affectionate, kept calling me honey and baby, touching my arm every few minutes. So we're good now, right? We can share locations again. Why would we do that? I asked, cutting into the pancakes. You said it was controlling. I overreacted. It's actually nice knowing where each other is for safety. But you felt suffocated. You're not suffocating me. Melissa, you said your therapist called it toxic behavior. She went quiet, stirring her coffee unnecessarily. Maybe I misunderstood what she said. Or maybe there is no therapist. She froze, spoon halfway to her mouth. What's that supposed to mean? When's your next appointment? That's private. Of course it is. I finished my breakfast in silence while she fidgeted with her phone. Later that day, I get a call at work from her best friend, Tiffany. What did you do to Melissa? She's a complete mess. I went to Miami for a bachelor party. Without telling her. She went to a spa weekend without giving me details. We agreed we don't need to know where each other is. That's different. She's a woman. Excuse me? Women need to know where their boyfriends are for emotional security. It's biological. But men don't need the same. Men who need to know where their girlfriends are every second are controlling and possessive. That's an interesting double standard, Tiffany. It's not a double standard. It's just how relationships work. According to who? She hung up on me. Tuesday brought the heavy artillery. Melissa's mom called my office, somehow got past our receptionist. Brian, we need to talk. Melissa tells me you're being emotionally abusive. By respecting her need for space? By disappearing to Miami without a word. She was terrified something had happened to you. I didn't disappear. I went on a planned trip with friends. She's your fiancée. She has a right to know where you are. She said I don't have that right when it comes to her whereabouts. That's different. Everyone keeps saying that, but no one explains how. Because she's not the type to do anything wrong, Carol continued. And I am? Men in Miami. We all know what happens there. What happened was fishing and overpriced drinks, Carol. Melissa is talking about postponing the wedding. The deposits. That's her choice. You don't even care about losing $18,000? That number hit different. 18 grand. My contribution to our dream wedding, gone if she walked away. I care, but I won't be in a relationship with double standards, regardless of the cost. Tuesday evening, Melissa came home late, around 11 p.m. I was in the living room reading financial reports for a client presentation. Fun night? I asked without looking up. Yeah, just drinks with coworkers. She smelled like cologne, men's cologne, not her usual perfume. Cool. She was expecting an interrogation, didn't get one. I could feel her hovering, waiting for questions that weren't coming. It was killing her. Don't you want to know who was there? Nope. It was a group thing. Chad from marketing was there too. Chad, the guy who's been just a friend forever. The one whose cologne I was currently smelling. I'd met him once at her company Christmas party. Decent-looking guy, seemed nice enough. Melissa had mentioned him occasionally over the past few months, always in passing, always casual. Sounds fun. She stared at me, frustrated. You really don't care? I really don't need to control you, Melissa. Isn't that what you wanted? She went to bed angry. I stayed up late, thinking about that cologne smell, about the way she'd emphasized Chad's name like she wanted a reaction. Wednesday brought a new level of crazy. I came home from a client meeting to find Melissa going through my phone. She'd figured out my passcode somehow, probably watched me enter it dozens of times without me noticing. What are you doing? Just looking. She didn't even have the grace to look guilty. At what? Nothing. God, why are you so paranoid? I took my phone back. You just broke into my phone and I'm paranoid? I wasn't breaking in. Engaged couples share phones. Since when? Since always, unless you have something to hide. Like you hiding your phone lately? I haven't been hiding anything. Right. I pulled up her Instagram. The app was still open on her. Screen from when she'd been scrolling earlier. She'd been tagged in a story from 2 weeks ago. A group photo at some upscale club downtown. Her dancing very close with Chad. Arms around each other, his hand on her lower back. The timestamp showed it was from the Saturday night she said she was too tired to go out with me. Explain this. Her face went red. You're stalking my social media now? It's public. Your friend tagged you. We were just dancing, as friends. In a committed relationship, you tell your partner when you're going clubbing with other men. You're being controlling again. No, I'm pointing out your double standard. You can't handle me going to Miami with the boys, but you're grinding on Chad at a club. That's different. There's that word again. Different. The magic word that apparently justified everything. She grabbed her keys and stormed out. Came back 2 hours later, stumbling slightly. Drunk. You know what your problem is? She slurred, pointing an unsteady finger at me. You don't fight for me. You don't care enough to be jealous. You're drunk. Go to bed. Chad would be jealous. Chad would care. Then date Chad. She started sobbing, mascara running down her cheeks. Maybe I will. He appreciates me. Okay. We've been texting for months. He actually cares about my feelings. Good for Chad. I could have slept with him tonight, but I didn't. Congratulations on basic loyalty. You're such an asshole. I'm done. We're over. Okay, I'll start looking for a new place tomorrow. That sobered her up real quick. The crying stopped, eyes went wide. What? No, this is just a fight. You just dumped me. I accept. I didn't mean it. You meant it enough to say it. You can't just leave. The lease is in my name. I can absolutely move out. I pulled out my phone and started browsing apartment listings. Already had 3 places bookmarked from earlier browsing, just in case this relationship imploded completely. You're serious? Dead serious. This morning, she's been panic texting from work. We need to talk. I told Chad we broke up last night. He asked me out. It's moving too fast. He's being intense. You can't actually move out. I found 3 apartments, viewing this weekend. The spiral was accelerating. Well, the weekend brought a whole new level of crazy. Friday night, Melissa came home with Chad. Didn't tell me he was coming. I was in the living room packing boxes, had already scheduled apartment viewings for Saturday morning. They walked in like they owned the place. What's happening here? Chad asked, trying to sound tough. Dude's maybe 5'7", and built like a breadstick. I'm moving out. You two have fun. Melissa looked panicked. You're not actually leaving. Viewing apartments tomorrow, found 3 places downtown. Chad stepped forward, puffing out his chest. Actually, bro, maybe Melissa should keep the apartment. It's the gentlemanly thing to do. I laughed. Chad, the lease is in my name. I pay the rent. Melissa's been living here basically rent-free because she only works part-time. Melissa's face went red. Guess she hadn't mentioned that detail to Chad. You live here for free? Chad turned to her. It's not like that. We're partners. We share everything. We shared everything when she needed it, I corrected. But when I needed to know if she was at a club with you, that was controlling. Chad looked uncomfortable. You were at the club that night? Chad, not now, Melissa hissed. You said you were single that night. We were basically broken up. We literally had dinner together that night, I added helpfully. She said she loved me before leaving for her girls' night. Chad stared at her, pieces clicking together. You said you'd been broken up for weeks. The realization was dawning on poor Chad's face. He'd been the side piece who thought he was about to be promoted to main guy. I need to go. Chad headed for the door. Chad, wait, Melissa chased after him. It's complicated. They argued in the hallway for 15 minutes. Other neighbors started coming out. Watching the drama, Chad left. Melissa came back in tears. Look what you did. I stated facts. Chad drew his own conclusions. You ruined everything. I thought I was giving you what you wanted. Space, freedom, Chad. She spent Friday night crying and drinking wine, posting cryptic quotes on Instagram about knowing your worth and toxic people. Her friends started commenting supportive messages, clearly not knowing the full story. Saturday morning brought the nuclear option. My phone rang at 8 a.m., the real estate agent. The apartment on 5th Street is available, but we need a decision within 2 hours. Another couple is very interested. Perfect location, great price, available immediately. I'll take it. While I was signing the lease over DocuSign, Melissa was on the phone with her dad in the bedroom. I could hear her voice through the walls. Daddy, I need help. No, we're broken up. He's abandoning me. I could hear Howard's voice through the phone, getting louder. She can sue for illegal eviction, he was saying. You're not a tenant, I called out. You're a guest. No lease, no rent payments. You have 0 legal standing. She went pale and continued the call in hushed tones. An hour later, there's a knock. Her parents, Howard and Carol, old money real estate family, the kind that thinks every problem can be solved with a checkbook and intimidation. Sit down, young man, Howard commanded, walking in like he owned the place. I'm good standing, thanks. My daughter has invested 2.5 years in this relationship. She deserves compensation. I actually laughed. Compensation for what? Emotional labor, domestic contributions, career sacrifices. She works part-time marketing. I do most of the cooking and cleaning. What career did she sacrifice? Carol chimed in. She gave up opportunities to be with you. What opportunities? The photography business that never took a single photo? The lifestyle blog with 2 posts? Melissa was mortified. Those were real ventures, funded by me, about $1,800 total if we're counting. Howard pulled out his actual checkbook. These people still write checks. What will it take for you to let her keep the apartment? It's not about money. I need a place to live. She can't afford this apartment on the part-time income. We'll pay her rent. Then get her a different apartment. This lease ends in 4 months anyway. She wants this one. She's established here. Established? She doesn't even get mail here. Everything still goes to your address. Melissa started crying again. Why are you being so cruel? I'm not being cruel. I'm moving on like you wanted when you said we were done. Carol tried another approach. What about the wedding deposits, the venue, the catering? Non-refundable. Your choice to forfeit them. Howard stood up, trying to look intimidating. You'll never work in this city again. I know people. Is that a threat? It's a promise. You'll be blacklisted from every financial firm. I'm a financial advisor, Howard. My clients care about returns, not your social connections. Good luck with that. They left in a huff, making vague threats about lawyers and lawsuits. Sunday was moving day. I'd hired movers for 9 a.m., wanted to get it done quickly and cleanly. As they were loading my boxes, Melissa made one last desperate play. She came out wearing the lingerie I'd bought her for Valentine's Day. Remember when we first moved in together? We christened every room. Melissa, the movers are literally right there. One mover tried very hard to look at the ceiling while carrying my dresser. We could try again, work things out, forget all this nonsense. The nonsense where you emotionally cheated with Chad for months? It wasn't cheating, we just talked. About how much you wanted to be with him instead of me. I was confused about my feelings. And now I choose you. Because Chad ran away when he found out you lied about being single. She stepped back, face hardening. You're going to regret this. Probably not. As the movers took the last box, she played her final card. I'm pregnant. I stopped, turned around slowly. No, you're not. How would you know? Because we haven't had sex in 6 weeks. You've been too stressed or too tired. Probably because you were emotionally invested elsewhere. Her face crumbled. That's not... I wasn't... Plus, you were drinking heavily 3 days ago when you came home from your work event with Chad. You wouldn't do that if you were pregnant. She had nothing left. Just stood there as I walked away from 2.5 years of my life. The new apartment was smaller, but perfect. All mine. No shared anything, no double standards, no manipulation. By Sunday night, I was unpacked and ordering pizza, sitting in my own space, making my own decisions. My phone was blowing up with messages from Melissa's friends, but I ignored them all. Peace and quiet. It was beautiful. It's been 2 weeks since I moved out. The new apartment is smaller, but all mine. Peace and quiet, no drama, no double standards. Melissa lasted exactly 3 days before the bombardment started. First, she tried the friend approach, had 7 different people contact me about giving her another chance, and how relationships take work, and you guys were so good together. My response to all of them, she wanted space. I gave her infinite space. Then came the social media campaign. She posted a series of stories about narcissistic exes and emotional manipulation and starting fresh. The comments were hilarious, half supporting her with generic, "you deserve better" responses, half calling out her obvious contradictions. Someone even commented, "Didn't you tell me last month you were planning to date Chad from your office?" She deleted that real quick. Tiffany called Tuesday morning. "You need to fix this. Melissa is devastated." She broke up with me. I just accepted it. She didn't mean it. She meant it enough to bring Chad home the next day. That was a mistake. She knows that now. Good for her. Learning experiences are valuable. Don't be an ass, Brian. She loves you. She loves what I provided. There's a difference. Thursday, I get a call from my old landlord. Melissa hasn't left. She changed the locks, claims she's your common law wife, and has rights to the apartment. We don't have common law marriage in this state. She's a guest who won't leave. That's trespassing. I'm serving her with a 5-day notice to vacate. Good. Let me know if you need any documentation proving she's not a tenant. Friday brought an unexpected visitor. Chad reached out. Hey man, can we talk? Met him for coffee. He looked rough, bags under his eyes, hadn't shaved in days. She won't leave me alone, he said. Hundreds of texts, shows up at my apartment, called my mom. Your mom? Told her we were engaged. My mom called to congratulate me on finding such a nice girl. I've known Melissa for 6 months. Technically, you've been her emotional affair partner for longer. It wasn't... Okay, yeah, it was. I'm sorry about that, by the way. I'm not the one you wronged. You wronged yourself. She told me you were abusive, controlling, that you monitored her every move, and you believed her while she was living rent-free in my apartment. I didn't think about it like that. She played you just like she played me. Learn from it. He stirred his coffee nervously. She's saying she'll hurt herself if I don't take her back. Call the police for a wellness check. Document everything and block her completely. I already blocked her. She made fake numbers. Change your number. I did. She got the new one from someone at work. HR. Immediately. This is workplace harassment. Already filed a report. Poor Chad, Guy thought. He was winning some romantic competition. Turned out he was just another manipulation target. Saturday night, I'm watching the game when I hear banging on my door. Look through the peephole. Melissa, drunk, with her sister Jamie. I called through the door. You need to leave or I'm calling the cops. I know you're in there. We need to talk. No, we don't. I'm homeless because of you. Your parents literally own 4 rental properties. They won't let me move back in. Not my problem, Jamie chimed in. You're being a real dick. She made mistakes, but she loves you. She loved what I provided. There's a difference. Everyone deserves a second chance. She had about 50 chances. I just stopped counting. They banged on the door for 20 more minutes. Other neighbors started coming out, complaining about the noise. Building security showed up around midnight. They were escorted out. Jamie arguing with security about true love, while Melissa cried dramatically. Sunday brought the nuclear manipulation attempt. Text from an unknown number. This is Howard. Melissa is in the hospital. Suicide attempt. This is on you. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I called the main hospital. No patient named Melissa. Called 3 other hospitals in the area. Nothing. Then I called Jamie. Your dad says Melissa's in the hospital? What? No, she's right here. We're at brunch downtown. Why? No reason, thanks. Screenshot that conversation, sent it to Howard. Lying about suicide attempts is disgusting and possibly illegal. Don't contact me again. He tried calling twice. I didn't answer. Monday morning brought the final reveal. Melissa posted on Instagram from what looked like an expensive yacht. Some new guy, looked about 55, wearing a Rolex that cost more than my car. Caption, new adventures with someone who appreciates me. Yet as bits of luxury life, Jasha blessed. Kevin texted me the screenshot. Damn, that was fast. 2 weeks. Must be a record. You okay? Better than okay. I'm free. Tuesday, my old landlord called with an update. She finally left after I started eviction proceedings. Place is trash, though. Holes in walls, wine stains on carpets, broken mirrors in the bedroom. I'm suing for damages. How much? Probably $4,000. You're still on the lease for 2 more months. Want to join the lawsuit? I thought about it. $4,000 would cover a nice vacation. But engaging with Melissa's chaos any further felt like letting her win somehow. I'll pass. Not my circus anymore. Wednesday brought the final cherry on top. Howard called, sounding panicked. We need to talk about the mail situation. What mail situation? Melissa had your mail forwarded to our house. The postal inspector is asking questions. That's mail theft, federal crime. She was just emotional. She didn't know it was illegal. Ignorance isn't a defense, Howard. What do you want? Money? We can pay? I want to be left alone forever by all of you. Done. Just call. Off the postal people. I'll tell them I don't want to press charges. What they do after that is up to them. It's been quiet for 72 hours now. My phone isn't blowing up. No one's at my door. No manipulation, no gaslighting, no double standards. I'm sitting in my small, peaceful apartment, watching football, eating Chinese takeout. My location is off. No one knows where I am or what I'm doing, and it's absolutely perfect. Melissa wanted me to stop being controlling by caring about where she was, so I stopped caring altogether. She thought she could have her cake and eat it too. Freedom for her, surveillance on me, chat on the side, me paying the bills. The Miami weekend wasn't about revenge. It was about equality. If she didn't need to tell me her whereabouts, I didn't need to tell her mine. Simple as that. But she couldn't handle the equality because it was never about control or space or freedom. It was about her wanting to do whatever she wanted while keeping me as a safety net. The safety net is gone now. She's some old rich guy's problem, or he's hers. Either way, not my circus, not my monkeys. 2.5 years wasn't wasted time. It was expensive education about what I won't accept in a relationship. My location stays off, my boundaries stay up, and my life stays drama-free. Best trade I ever made.